number one. This is Bob, and this is the Monday Show. Now, I just want to let everyone know that this dude sitting right over here is one dedicated guy. I got to tell you, he a big part of Maps. They had their big event this weekend, the conclave, and I know he's tired, but you know what? He never wavers. He's here. He works 6, 7 days a week. He's so dedicated to our community. Thank you, Randall Santa Checker Lee, to my side right here.
Oh, sorry.
I
I
know how
agree.
you feel. I'm just really beginning to get my legs back under me from Branson. And
Yeah,
so I
that's
know the weekend
crazy what
was
you
equally as
do.
tiring and dedicated. Thank you for everything you do, Randy, for not only us, the MAPS organization,
Man,
but the whole community as a whole.
it was just such a fun weekend. We'll talk about it more a little later. It was a fun weekend. There was over 90, I think 93 people there at it, and incredible all over the Midwest area and Canada, and great classes. Wow, they
Even
were
yeah, even the
really.
Canadian sounds had a good
Even the
continuous.
Canadians were there. Yes, they were.
Uh,
Yeah, they were there.
got some hard hitters there from Canada, I got to say. It's some folks that we all know and love. And it was good to see such a large turnout for you guys' event. And I
Yeah.
know old Spangle had his trailer out there in the parking lot, and he was doing it up big. But it's great to come together with your brothers and sisters and share the love of Christmas.
Yeah, we
Again, thank
just sat out in the lobby at night after we're done everything, just talking till whenever.
you.
Mike for Phineas was playing his guitar Saturday night and singing, and we all got together and sang "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," and it was just, I mean, you can't make those memories are just unforgettable. I mean, I walked in on Friday. I started out one of the founders of Maps, Jim Tate. There was three founders of Maps. Uh, Jim Tate, Santa Jim Tate, passed away a month ago, and his memorial was Friday afternoon, Friday evening. So I was honored and lucky enough to go speak at it first. From his wife Pat asked me, and just a beautiful turnout for Jim. Then I drove up to Saginaw, and I walk into the restaurant area, and it goes, Randall's here. I'm going, you know me, but I is Jenny here right now? Sorry, Jenny, I didn't recognize you right away. It just was such a great time. I mean, I just going on the classes were Bob. They were just dynamite this year.
Well,
I mean,
and that's the bonus, Randy, is
man,
you go there for the weekend for the educational retreat, but it's everything that's packaged around that day of classes that ends up being the real bonus and the real icing on the cake. Like you said, sitting out in the lobby or in the area with your friends and Randy is
oh,
playing the guitar. Oh my gosh, that had to be stellar.
oh, Phineas played a bunch of songs for us, and it just was. We just sat there and listened and relaxed after how many classes. Then we had our buffet dinner at night, and then just memories are just on and on. I see Mel's here. Mel, thank you very much. Beautiful sermon you wrote that Bruce read. Thank you, Mel. It was beautiful. Mel was sick last week, so she couldn't make it, but she sent
Fortunately,
a sermon that Santa Bruce read, and it was beautiful. Mel, thank you.
I sure hope you're feeling better, Mel.
Yeah, hope you're and the new job's doing good. Hopefully, the new job. She's got a new job, so that's cool. Wow, so
Yeah, and
much.
they sent her a floral to help her feel better, which always perks a lady up. And so that was great of them, being a new job and all. That was really kind, I thought.
Yeah. So, how was your week? Besides trying to rest up from a week of Spangle, we
Yeah,
only had a couple days of Spangle. I don't know how you do it for a whole week with Spangle.
well, the older I get, the harder it is to do, because you're running on pure adrenaline. As you say, you'll stay up late, and the bad part is you're trying to get in bed early, but you get so caught up in the hoopla, uh, you know, answering questions, sharing memories, talking to your friends, making new friends,
Oh,
that
yeah.
early is out of the question. Well, doggone it, then early morning comes. And it's out of the question too. You do not want to get up after only having a handful of hours of
Yeah.
sleep. It's hard, but we do it. And of course, it takes 7 to 10 days for this old man to kind of really get to feeling my oats again. And today I'm feeling pretty good. So not too bad. Now, of course, with all that said, we pack up and leave out of here on Friday. We're going to be in Navarro Beach, Florida, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Leaving out Wednesday morning and head back here. Get back on next following Thursday. Be my wife, Carol, and I's 50th anniversary celebration. Our actual date's not till August 25th, but
Such a
we have got
fabulous occasion.
best
Congratulations.
friends, Spangle and Jetta, Clown, and Scott and Colleen Seriton are going down. We're all going to meet down there, and we're gonna party like it's 2009.
Now by 2099, man, and you're gonna feel like you're 99 leaving
Yeah,
a long day like that. You're gonna feel that way.
absolutely.
Congratulations, really, 50 years. I mean, that is everybody. That's just impressive. 50 years. Congratulations to you and
I've said
Carol. I
before,
mean, that's a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing.
and I've said before, she had just turned 14. I had just turned 16 when we met. We dated for 5 years. I got two lovely children, one lovely granddaughter, and have been blessed beyond our years, blessed with friends, blessed with the roof over our head and food in our stomach, and just we're just blessed. We're just so happy just to be able to be a part of this community and try to give. That's all I care about is giving.
Because this community gives back so much too.
They
It's
do.
amazing.
You give, you get
You
10
guys
times.
have given so much to this community. I, I I will never be able to say enough of what you've done for all this, and I mean putting together all these nights, and I mean just and the hours you put in, and just of course how many smiles you bring to how many thousands and thousands of children every year, thousands and thousands.
Well,
That's
again, be my 11th year at my mall and 15th year as a professional here in this community. And I thank the Lord every day. Yeah, it's a lot of dedicated work. I love giving. I love sharing. It was something that Gordon Bailey had pounded into my head from the very beginning, and it stuck. And in honor of him, I continue to carry on the legacy the best I can. I'll never fill his shoes. He was such an intelligent man when it comes to all things red suit, and
he was a
he's
walking
made us
encyclopedia when it come to all that. He really was. He was
he
a walking.
was.
I used to describe a chef that I knew that was a walking encyclopedia when it come to that, but Gordon was that when it come to this business.
He was, and never wavered one time in sharing and helping. And so I just try to do the same thing to carry on his legacy. Now, let's move on to the weather. We're going to make this short. It's hot. What's the Randy?
Boom, hot. That's it. What else can he say? It's just hot.
.com, period. Did y'all do that up there this weekend?
Man, it's actually we had a gorgeous weekend up in Saginaw. I was probably in the low 80s. Night was in the low 70s, and but man, we had a rainstorm here at home this morning. It just was wow. I mean, it was crazy. I mowed a friend's lawn this morning. I got home, put everything away, and whoosh, it was nuts. But yeah, it's stopped within a half hour. But glad I got their lawn done. I got to figure out when I'm going to do mine.
Yeah, we kind of got lucky with the tropical storm that became a hurricane early this morning and made landfall. It was actually first projected to go right up into the panhandle of Florida. It actually turned, went in at the Big Bend, and they are getting torrential rain. If you live in the deep south of Georgia, northern Florida area, even South Carolina and up the coastline, please be careful because they're saying this is going to be one of the worst flooding events because of the torrential rain that came with this storm, and it slowed down once it moved over land, and it's just going to set down, inches and inches and inches of rain. For all our brothers and sisters and all those in the South, please be careful. Don't go out in the water. Don't even try to walk in it. Don't knock you off your
Don't
feet, sweep
try.
you away.
No.
So,
It's like they say, water can kill. When they say the word, it's going to be devastating rain.
yes,
They said the
yes,
word devastating rain. That's not just like rain, it's devastating rain, the amount that's supposed to happen. And that's just, they were talking about sandbags. You can't get enough sandbags to to protect a house from that. I don't.
That part about tropical systems and hurricanes is, they start off with that little bitty path, and then as the days go on, that path gets bigger and bigger. How do you how do you prepare along that long of a line? Everybody kind of waits and waits and waits and sees how each state gets a little closer, and that target area is shrunk down to a tighter area across there. But I mean, I don't know, man. We have tornadoes here, and we have to prepare for those. And you have to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it. It don't mean you're safe. It just means you're taking every precaution you can. And I just hope the folks in Florida are doing the same thing. Of course, they're used to the hurricanes, so it's a drill for them, just like tornadoes are a drill for us. Of course,
Yeah,
you guys with blizzard and ice storms and snow and that sort of thing. So it doesn't matter where you live in the country, you've got
it's
something.
something you're going to have. Thank goodness we don't have devastating. We have bad and crummy weather a lot of time, but not devastating. A
Yeah,
friend of mine, my closest friend, her sister lives in Colorado. Last week they had all those big fires in Colorado,
yeah.
down Colorado Springs and lines there, and they had to evacuate. They didn't know if their house was going to be there when they came back. So even things like that, you just don't know. It's scary.
I always say the worst part of life is just not knowing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you can take that from all the way across the spectrum, just not knowing about, pick a subject and think to
there's
yourself,
so many.
don't know, just don't know. You
Yeah.
know what I don't know, but what is devastating is how I feel after I eat that big something burger.
Oh, man, it feels so good, especially when you lick the fingers off that little cheese that's dripping.
Hey, that cheese is so yummy, yummy. All right, let's jump into that next. Next week I will be out. Mike Hutchins is going to come in as the co-host next week with Randall, and so you know, it's going to be fun for you guys. I may try to drop in for just a moment, but Tuesday night we've dedicated to a staycation, and Triangle, myself, and Scott will be going live from the beach and kind of share some of our settings with everyone on Tuesday Night Live this week. No, no special guest, just the three of us clowns, hanging out together.
Can I ask one thing though, Bob?
Yeah, yeah.
No Speedo, if you don't mind. No Speedos. You know, those little tiny Speedo things you wear at the beach. No.
Yeah. I understand now. For me, Carol actually got me a new bathing suit, the one that I've had for years. It still fits. It's red, but I said, "Hey, that's our 50th. Give me a new bathing suit for our 50th." So she did, and I love it. But them other two guys, now I wouldn't put nothing past them.
That's what I'm worried about. Seeing Spangle in a Speedo on the beach. I don't know. It's
Yeah, that's a thought we can't get out of our head, as you always like to
oh,
say. Don't be
uh,
hey, worse than that, Scott in the speedo. The
I
two of
see
them
Scott
side by
here. Good to see you, Scott.
side.
Scott showed up. Hi, Michael. How's Linda doing, Michael? Hope your wife's doing good, Mike. So got a great group joining us here for these questions as always. Great group.
Go ahead and let them have it, Randy.
All righty, here we go. It's kind of one of those kind of first thing a remembering question is if you remember, if you take a moment, just a moment to think about it, if you remember, what was your very first gift that Santa gave you? Not grandma or grandpa or your birthday for Christmas, but you got so excited. This is what you wanted from Santa. Do you remember what your very first Santa gift was? And do you remember the feeling you had of that excitement? And does that help you with your performance now? So, do you remember your first gift from Santa? Do you remember how that feeling was still, that excitement was? And does that help you in your performance to get the children excited about things because you're the guy that's going to make them that excited? How about you, Bob? You remember your first goodie?
Well, the first real memory I have of something that I really wanted that I got, gosh, I can't even tell you how old I was. I just know I could remember. Many of us can remember back to four. Maybe a few vague memories come back from three, but I think they're more of a something that your parents or your grandparents, great grandparents might have talked about that kind of sticks in your head. But first real thing I got that I loved, and I still wished I had the darn thing, is a pedal fire truck. It's a little metal car,
Oh yeah,
with
the
those inside, and
yep.
it had a little ladder on the side and little real holes on the back and a little bell up on front. Ding, 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 ding. I know I drove everybody crazy with that bell, but I didn't care because I was having
There.
fun.
Oh, that's great. So does it like? Do you think like how excited you were when you got that? Does
Oh
that
man,
help you when you try to make the children excited?
this is something I've never shared outside of the family. So here I go. I'm opening myself up. But when I was young, I didn't go forward. I was always in reverse. Why? I have no idea. I wore striped little overalls and ran backwards, walked backwards. Everywhere I went, it was backwards, including my pedal car. Backwards I went.
Oh
So
my
I can remember how excited I was jumping up and down. Couldn't wait to get in on Christmas Eve at night when I found it early. We had left and come home. I remember that much, and of course all the presents were under the tree at that time. Santa had been there, and oh my gosh, it was I was running around backwards for 10 minutes probably, and I pedaled half the night backwards. So it was fun.
wow, that's great. That's great. My favorite gift from Santa actually was a castle that you had put together. It actually had a base to it with a moat and the little guys, all the archers and all that
How
kind of
cool!
stuff. One year, that's all I wanted for Christmas was this castle. We had a local toy store really close to where I lived, the old fashioned toy store, and that was there. Well, I didn't know this till years later that that didn't because it was made in Germany or something. That didn't come in till the night before Christmas, like 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 the 23rd maybe. I guess it came in. So my parents were like, "Oh my, he wants this so bad. He's so bad." So I, it made me more excited knowing that my parents went through to get this to keep that thrill alive for me, and how nervous they were that it wasn't delivered to the toy store in time. In fact, I still have most of the parts. I still have because it was just such a thrill getting it and just the excitement that I remember. I mean, I will never forget the gift. Like I said, I mean, I still, it's, well, I'm 67 now. It was probably five maybe when I got it, six, the oldest. So that's over 60 years old, but that's something I will never get rid of because what it meant to me even more with what my parents did to keep Santa alive, you know,
Yeah,
me. So
exactly.
it was something. It was something. So
I had another one, but it wasn't something that was given to me uh, at Christmas time. It was something that was bought for my first Christmas. But of course, as a baby, you don't know those things. But
yeah,
my dad's dad, my grandfather, George McMasters, had went out and bought me a Lionel train set, a really nice one. And I've still got pieces of it. The transformer track burnt up years ago. I've still got the car, still got part of the track, still have the transformer. It's stored away in my closet along with a couple other trains that I bought as an adult, the Christmas
they're
trains.
worth a mint now, and they're worth they're yeah, good old fashioned Lionel train. They're I wish some of the other toys I had when I was young I didn't play with so much. I wish I would have just kept them and thought in 60 years I'm going to be able to retire on them, you know. But
Well, when he found out that my mom was going to have a son or a baby, and I guess he was hoping it was going to be a son. I don't know, but 1952 he went out and bought that. Of course, I was born in '53, so pretty cool, and
very
wished it
cool.
still worked, but I can't let go of it. I've held on to it all these years.
Me too. Me too. I can't let go of those things. So we got some here that they're letting us know. Um, Mel said mine was a microscope that was the solar powered robot from Radio Shack. Boy, you're a baby, aren't you? Radio Shack. Boy, does anybody remember Radio Shack? Come to think about that. That's very cool. Um, Doug Wright. Doug says a pedal car, kind of like yours, Bob. It
Yeah,
was a 1950s green style with the silver paint chrome. The only way I can recall is Santa came to the house and gave it to me, and my parents took photos of it with me. Um, yeah, see, that's and I'm hopefully you still have pictures of that as you looking at and how that probably makes you feel again, how excited you were when you saw that in the morning. And that's
Now you mentioned being excited. For us as Santas, we don't do the work. The work is done for us.
right.
We're not there to see the excitement on Christmas night or Christmas morning. Most of the cases, you might every once in a while get lucky and run into something. But for me, when a child asks for something and the parents are sitting back there shaking their head yes, and you can go ahead and kind of let the cat out of the bag and say, well, I'm going to be sure and get that for you, because again, they're reinforcing the fact that it's okay, and the excitement that they get at that moment, it kind of translates to what you're talking about.
Yeah, because
We
we can't
that
promise. You're
excitement,
right. We can't promise anything, but
right?
that is for sure.
Very
Uh,
so.
Santa Doug, Doug and Jenny were the big prize winners over the weekend. There was 4 raffle prizes done, and Jenny and Doug won 3 out of the 4.
Wow.
Uh, he
Hey,
said
Doug, Jenny, let's go to the casino.
they went to Bronner's, so the money's all gone anyway on the way home. So the money was all gone. So they stopped at Bronner's on the way home. That Doug does say a Lone Ranger doll and his horse Silver. Very excited, when I but then it went bad. Oh no, I broke the rubber mask putting it on. The Lone Ranger was not cool when he didn't have a mask. Yeah, he always had to always had a mask. That's too bad that even rubber mask back then, huh? Usually, I think the Lone Ranger I had probably so old it was just painted on. Um, whoops. Bart here says this is the company party Dad works for. Sorry, this is it at a company party that Dad worked at, handed to me by the Santa sitting on the throne. I guess I'm not too sure what that's about, Bart. I apologize.
He put up a link there on eBay. So,
Okay, we'll
but
see what the link is. Gotcha. I didn't.
now you
Um,
skipped over Sal Sid. I don't know if you
oh,
saw
did I
his or
miss Michelle?
It's on YouTube.
it's on YouTube. But
Okay.
G.I. Joe with live black hair, I was over the moon, he says.
Um, Paul Anderson says Lionel Train. Sadly, I lost it in the house fire 5 months later. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, especially 5 months. That's sad, but that's those things are great memories. And if we even though we can't promise, we are still building those memories, and you guys remember these. So uh, Santa Scott says it was a Schwinn Apple Crate bike. Is the gift that really sticks in my head. Was one of the big handlebars and the sissy bar in the back there, Scott? Is that what that
Banana
was?
seat. Remember the banana
Yeah,
seat?
yeah. Banana seat was that one with those apple crates? They want the small tire in the front. I know they had some of those Stingrays.
I
They
don't
had
know
this.
that. That might have been the Swin. Might not have been. It depends on when it was. For Scott, it might have been the one with the sissy bar and the banana seat. Hey, Scott, clear that up for us, brother. Tell us what it was.
Yeah, and Deborah says Tippy Toes doll. I don't remember Tippy Toes doll. I remember Mrs. Beasley in those, and of course, um, no problem at your late, Kevin. I'm just glad you're here. Um, tornado warning. Sorry, Mel, that's not good.
I think it's for Everett and Dana.
Where did I miss? I missed those too. I apologize. They're probably on the thing here, right? All right, let's go back to here. Everett. Um,
Yeah, I think him and Dana have a tornado warning until 4:56. If
yikes.
I'm reading that right.
Yeah, from the hurricane.
Dana says it's raining wet.
Wow. Sean White, good to see you, Sean. Long time no see. Haven't seen you since yesterday. Um, I always wanted Barbie and everything. Santa brought me one of the first dream houses. Did you have a whole bunch of Barbie dream houses, Sean? It seemed like you would probably have a room full of Barbie dream houses for some reason. I'm not trying
Yeah,
to stereotype or anything, but you only had
vintage.
one Allen. I'm sorry, that movie just got me, and the poor guy, and one Allen. If you had to see the movie to understand it. Santa Mark says it was G.I. Joe from the 70s, especially G.I. Joe. Submarines, the Wolf, the Sea Wolf. Lost it in the move down here, but found an evil bay, found it in the bay, but found an evil bay later.
Yeah.
It might be on eBay.
Oh, eBay. Sorry, not evil bay. eBay.
Autocorrect got it. Santa
There you
Scott
go.
says yes on the banana seat with the sissy bar, and it was red.
Oh, jeez. Could see him going. It's a yeah. Actually, my other favorite thing was a character called Captain Action. Was but that was in the mid '60s. That was a little later. So, yep. He said banana seat. Dana says just made it from work. Sorry about the tornado, man. That's scary. Warning is still. Yeah. Just please stay safe. Whoops, I went too far on that one. There we go. Um, yeah, I just wondered if that kind of helps you because when like Bob said, we're not going to promise, but we know deep down how much that excited us when we were young, thinking of that as the way a child was, and if that helps you in your performance a little bit, knowing how excited they get, knowing they're going to get something from Santa or whatever it is, and so very cool as always.
Santa
Love
Scott
all
says
the answers.
small front tire and big stain shock on top of the forks and 8 hanger handlebars. The banana seat had shocks on the back of the seat, apple red on color. So yes, it was what we were thinking it was, Randy.
Wow, I had two different Stingrays. They were one with the 5 gear shift in the center there, just 5 gears, and the big
I
handle.
had
I never had the big sissy bar in the back though. I did big handles and the banana seat, but boy, those banana seats. Why don't they have them now when you're older to ride a bike? Man, it'd be a
you
lot
know
better
they
than these little tiny seats they put on the bikes now for you to ride.
I saw a post recently where, and it might have been on Marketplace, where someone was selling a bicycle, and he had replaced the seat on it with what they called a big boy seat or something. It's not the little skinny one; it's a little bit wider to fit for bigger fellas, and that's what I need. I need a big voice.
Can we
I,
share
Can we share what?
a photo?
Yeah, share a photo.
Because Bart had sent one to me and a
Okay,
Kim.
Bart has sent a photo. Angela is going to share it. So,
So you can do your share screen.
oh, you want me to do it?
Yes,
Where did you send it?
your private message.
Everyone, give me just a moment. It's not going to work. Hang on. I'm about to get out of this
no
screen.
problem. We'll just do that. But like I said, it's such a it's because we're building those memories, even if we can't guarantee it to the children. We're building those memories and that excitement for the holidays. And I remember how excited I was to get those couple things when I was young, and that my parents kept that alive for me. But I didn't know what they went through to get the castle for me. So it kind of made it more special for me to think about later on. So it's cool. He's working on it, so that's good, guys. Hope everybody else. Oh, there we go. Wow, there it is. Look at that.
Which one is you, Bart? Big one or little one? That's pretty cool, though. Those were cool.
Yeah, good old Fat the tractor.
Uh-huh. Got the little cart on back.
He was on. Bart said he's on the tractor. He was driving. His little brother is sitting in the seat in the back. That's great.
Cool.
That's great. Bill said Legos, of course. We all, if there's a Lego out there, we're still gonna play with Legos. I mean, that's just don't leave them on the floor. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Man, they hurt the feet when you step on those things.
And before Legos, remember, it was the Lincoln Logs. Oh my gosh, I
Lincoln.
had so much fun with just Lincoln Logs alone.
It's so neat when you work at the big box store. I can't say the name of it. They sell the buckets of Lincoln Logs, and they have a table out there for the children. They get so excited playing the Lincoln Logs, and it's something that's so untechnical. They're not sticking their nose in this thing, and it's fantastic to see them play with it. Good old fashioned, something that came out, I don't know, in the early 1900s, probably even before that, even 1800s, probably when the original Lincoln Logs came out. So,
And that sparks another memory for me, Randy. Model cars, building, the model cars that you had to glue together and even paint, those were cool, a lot of fun back in those days. And that's how I used my Lincoln Logs was I would build a racetrack and take a couple of my model cars and act like I was racing them around this circle track. Of course, me being an idiot for circle track racing my whole life, that was how I passed my time a lot. And Lake logs played a big part in that because I could build a little concession stand and put logs around the edge for the racetrack, and it was kind of
Wow.
fun. Mom
Just
always
think,
made me pick them up though each night. Don't leave them on the floor.
imagination of a child than what you did back then, because you would play for hours. That Lincoln
Yeah,
log was this big and the car was only this big, but it's still proportion didn't matter in your head then. You were just having a great time.
and that's it. It's what was in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Mark says I still like the logs too.
Yeah, those are cool. Very
Just
cool.
a classic. Um, Doug Wright says, I'm sorry, I got lost it here. There we go. Uh, Model monsters like Frankenstein, Wolfman, the Creature, the Mummy. Uh, said, oh, they brought me back to those dates. So I take it they had the models of all the creatures back then to make them and put them on the shelf. So they, I never built creatures. But that they were some. And you don't even hear about those guys any. You don't hear about the Mummy. You don't hear about the Wolfman. You don't hear about those. Aren't the scary creatures anymore at all.
Now, no, they don't live under your bed anymore like they used to.
Uh, Johnny Lightning, Matchbox Cars, good still. It's that orange track always was so exciting when you're young on Matchbox and Hot
It
Wheels.
was. It was.
Man, but you had to clip it onto your countertop so the gravity got it. Now, of course, they have that thing that keeps on pushing them, and so it's a little different. Yeah, it is so many things to bring back that fun and excitement, and that's what the children go through. Um, so it says Doug says you did such a good job yesterday, Chris. Great, finally, nice to meet you and your wife in person. Okay, he's saying hi to Santa
Yeah.
Chris. Did a presentation there, and Santa Doug was
Chris and
great
him and
time.
Kim just they were late, but they are here now and from the big town of Leonard. Leonard.
Yeah, he's was taking his grandson to some practice, and he had a busy day coming up. So I'm glad you're here, Chris. Glad
All
you're
right.
glad everybody's here. Thank you for all your input as always. I mean, it's just amazing. Um, Bob's got a great one here going too.
Well,
Ties
and
up
mine
with some things.
for me was something that popped in my head early last week when I started thinking about the following week's script and all, and knowing that Mike was going to come back on this next Monday and fill in while I'm out of pocket. This popped in my head. How many of you have worked with a sidekick puppet or considered taking up puppetry? If you have or would tell us about the character and name you have used or would choose if you was to develop that character. For Phineas or Mike, he has a couple of puppets, just took delivery, I think, on a new one or just got a new one that he put together. And so hopefully next week we'll plant the seed here. Hopefully next week he'll do more on puppetry. So we're going to leave that up to him.
Yeah, Mike did a little talk yesterday about him too, but he actually used Jerry's puppet, Freddie the Yeti. I think he was borrowing one of the other Santa's puppets. I think it was called Freddie the Yeti. So he was talking about that there. So
I'm
um,
pretty sure Yeti's the new one he just got too, wasn't it?
yeah, he got a Yeti too. Yeah, but this was actually I think Jerry's puppet that he brought. Jerry went down to the ventriloquist convention down in Kentucky like a month or so ago and picked up a couple of surprising how many Santas go to the ventriloquist convention. It's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
he picked up a couple of puppets down there. So um,
Well, and more guys, ladies and gentlemen, both are beginning to take up puppetry in the Santa community, which is really a cool sidekick. Now, Doug and Diane Wright got a new one this last year. It's a baby polar bear, and when they were on the TNL show, they showed it and talked about it, and she demonstrated it a little bit. Uh, they call theirs Kodiak, and Mrs. Claus uses it. He says so. that was pretty cool. If you didn't catch that segment, go back and check the segment on Doug and Diane, and check out that polar bear, because that's one of the cutest little hand puppets or puppetry demonstration I had seen in quite some time. Really, really, really cool.
And you don't have to be a great ventriloquist to use them. You really don't.
No, that's something else that came up this season on the TNL show. Is it doesn't matter if you're sitting right next to your puppet and the puppet and you are interacting, but yet your mouth is moving for both characters. Children don't care. It's the different tone in the voice, the interaction, the fun that makes it so cool. And like I said, children don't care. You don't have to be a ventriloquist.
Yeah, it's that character you give them, which is the fun stuff. So
Sean White says she wished that y'all had have had more time yesterday for puppets.
yeah, we had to split up some classes, and I guess we're not going to do that again. Some people want one fled, then you didn't see some classes. So, but yeah, you'll see Mike next Monday. So
How cool would that be to have a whole show on puppets and have special guests and their puppets on?
very
Pretty
cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Very.
Santa Chris says, hi, Mel, hugs and kisses from Kim and I. Santa Scott says, Angie, you can share it if you want. He's got something you want to share?
Clicks. Private message.
You have to send it on a PM. Scott, send it to me, and then we'll share it. Mike said, yep, I'll be there next week. And we thank you for it too, Mike. You're such a great addition.
Got a safe trip home there today, Mike. So he's got a little long drive from Saginaw to getting across the bridge to Toronto. So
yeah, I had actually reached out to him last week and asked him if he would come on today with the puppet, and he said he couldn't do it. He was traveling, and the puppet don't know how to drive, so he decided to wait and come on next week's show, which, like I say again, is a blessing because he will be filling in for me. Bart says, I would think that puppets are pretty limited with a certain very young audience, but I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Randy?
They during the holiday times, I don't think they're limited. I mean, think about it. I mean, you look at ventriloquism now. Some is very edgy, far more edgy than Santa should ever be, and very kind of adult oriented. This Nina Conte is a fantastic ventriloquist, but you don't want the Santa community going seeing her. It's not a children's audience, so it can be that it can be way over the top, and it's no different than Santa being there or Mrs. Claus or an elf being there. It's just another character. It's just another thing. It's no different than singing Rudolph. It enhances what you're doing. I think all age groups can have a. I mean, I wouldn't just do it for teenagers only.
No.
You have to know your group, but I think it's yeah, and you're not going to do little hand puppets for that age group, but it's just think what it'd be like to take one Yeti or an elf puppet and Mrs. Claus takes to a elderly home. I mean, they would just love it, a polar bear or something, and the bear reaches the hand out and pats him on the head or gives him a little pat in the cheek. I mean, you've got another thing that work fine in all age groups. So I think you can.
Well, and you mentioned knowing your audience, and you being the ultimate performer that performs more than the majority of us put together with your magic and Checker Lee and all. So that's why I thought you would be the one to ask, and that was a great explanation, Randy. Bart says I would think that puppets are pretty limited. Mike Hutchins reports back that the puppets gets car sick. But he tells Bart, just you watch, Bart. So Randy, Neely, and Debbie have joined us. For those who have heard about some of their woes, they have house repairs with a crew there today, finally getting their house put back together after the it's been at least 8 weeks ago since this big storm that came through. Doug Wright shares the Amazon link to the polar bear hand puppet if anyone's interested. Sean White mentions that Betsy does puppetry also. Betsy's goose is amazing, Mike says. Santa Scott says Darcy Lynn is awesome. And did I mention she is from Oklahoma? She is right down the street from you, Scott. Scott, here, hang on.
Nancy Jean Grey, which does Mrs. Claus like crazy, and Mother Goose, and she does puppets all the time too. So
let me get this pulled up real quick here. Back over here, share my screen. Share, and share again.
Share alike.
All right, Nancy, can you show that?
Right.
Oh man, the picture of the bike.
Little tire on front, the ape hanger handlebars,
Yeah.
red seat, sharp. Bet you wish you
Man.
still had that too, Scott. That'd be worth some money also. Mint
It'd be
condition.
worth big time. And any Schwinn now is worth extra money.
Yeah.
They really are.
Okay, back
Wow.
over here to the comments. Let's see what else we got here. Santa Doug says, I think we should approach it like magic. It shouldn't end up being a puppet show or a magic show. It should be a Santa Mrs. Claus elf show. Chris says, missed at the red suit, Bob. Would have been nice to have you and Scott and Anto there along with Spangle. Next year, for sure, we are going to make sure that we appropriate the funds. And hey, if you guys like to see us come up, maybe you can chip in $1 a piece, and with 90 something, that would get us a tank of gas. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Patrick Moss is with us. He says hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Ernie says hello from New Hampshire. He's in the house. Yeah, he said that was it and was much fun, and he wished he still had it. Speaking of Santa Scott, it was $50 new, and now it is over 1,500 used.
$50 new, and that was like, oh, can we really afford that back then? I mean, you were like going, man, that's an expensive bike.
$50.
Maybe you should draw the one down, the one with a little less fun stuff on it, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, back when they first came out, you actually had the gear shift there on the backbone of the frame.
Yeah.
Where you could change gears on some of them, and some of them had it up here, like a motorcycle where you changed it up here. But there was variations of them, but that was the Swin, and Swin is the one that would, like I say, $50 back then. It was probably like 500 easy today,
Yeah.
So,
And that's what a nice bike is now. A nice bike is 500 plus for if you want to buy a bike now. So
yeah, heck yeah. 1963, Scott says, and the 5-speed was more. Yes, it was. The 5-speed was, if I remember correct, my parents paid around $100 for it, and
wow.
mine was like in 63 or 64 when I got mine too. Everybody in the neighborhood got one. It was like 6 or 7 of us, and we all rode around together and went to the store and the baseball park.
Well, if you didn't have one back then, you were kind of an outcast. I know where I lived, if you didn't have if you didn't have one, you just didn't ride with them, so you had to get one. Thank goodness my parents got me one. So
Bart says he just picked up a Repop Swim banana bike that I used as part of our Santa set when we do large events. How cool!
Wow.
Super neat.
Wow. Well, that's good. So we'll but don't forget, next Monday you're going to hear more about the puppets and some cool names. So but don't Mike was he was bringing one to life over the weekend, so it was it'll you start, the weirdest thing is you start watching the puppets more than you watch the person that's
I think that's the cool part about it, is that they captivate you.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't matter if your lips are moving because they're watching the puppet do its thing, and pretty cool stuff. So let's see. Scott Saratine says we rode bikes every day and to school. Hey, and we put it in the bicycle rack out front by the street, and no one ever touched it. No locks, no nothing. Just park it there all day.
Yeah, there were always
We had a
was
kid
rats.
buy crack at school. He says that's true.
Nobody, and we would even go to the store. We had
Yeah,
Kresge's really close to us. Would just lay it down in front of the store. You'd go in, you'd sit there at the little food area, have a phosphate for 12 cents, and would go back out, and it'd still be there. Now, even if you have a lock on it, they'll bust it off and take it anyways.
that's right. They will. And every time we mention something, it triggers you to think about something else. Or you just triggered a thought for me. We would go to the store a couple of blocks away, and of course, get soda pops and candy bars and ice cream. Go next door to the laundromat, and they had an area between dryer racks that was a folding table. And we'd get up there and sit. And then one night we decided, hey, let's get in the dryer and spin each other. So started doing that. That was fun too. But anyway, that's for another
Oh
show.
my
Let's go
goodness.
ahead and let's get into our SantaCloset.org. We have a trivia question today. This one's going to be fun. So we'll be back on the other side.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Oh my God. Randy, I just laughed to gut up. Mike Hudson says juvenile delinquency with Bob and Randall.
I know.
Coming to
That,
TNL soon, right?
that's terrible,
Oh my goodness, that cracked me up, Mike. That's too good. Let's see. Santa Scott says, I miss my little green army men. We would set up and have battles in the dirt. Yeah,
Those little guys
this
are
neighborhood
great.
was new when we first moved into it, and everyone was getting loads of sand, and you could dig tunnels in that sand and play with our army men. And come 4th of July, you could blow them up and blow the sand mounds up, and like Mike said, juvenile delinquency.
We used to use little crackers on them. I'm sorry to say, that was sad. Shouldn't have done
Chris
that. But
says,
now the green guys would have been cool to have. But it's like the little tiny mini ladyfinger firecrackers sliding between their legs, lighting. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Phineas, delinquents. You're right. You're right.
Chris says,
Uh,
unfortunately, when he got his BB gun, he set them up as targets. All right, Randall. The question's
okay.
been up on the screen here for a
Yeah.
moment.
All
If you
righty.
want to go
Here's
ahead
the
and jump
question for
into
the
it.
day, folks. On a Miracle on 34th Street, the movie was shot on location in New York City during the 1946 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. As it was happening, how many cameras did it take to get all of the? I'm sorry, I was reading that. I got to read this. To get all the necessary parade footage. There we go. So the question is basically how many cameras did it take to get all the necessary parade footage on that day, not what it takes last year or whatever from making the movie Miracle on 34th Street.
I was
What do you say?
researching that question and looking into it a little bit deeper, like I like to do when I find something that intrigues me. And they wanted to do it during the live parade. They wanted to be as realistic as they could, so they had to set up a number of cameras to get all the different shots and to get it during the one time that the event
Yeah,
came past them
one
as they
take
done.
is all you get. Yeah.
Now, a big portion of the actual uh, movie set, and it was a set that they put together that looked like a Macy's store, where most of it was filmed. There was a few shots, but the majority of it was done in studio. But that was done on location.
just be careful. If the olden days, they didn't think much of Santa where they placed him in stores like that. And I was working at a store called Jacobson's, which is like a local department store here. Had 6 or 8 different department stores, an upper scale store, but they didn't think about where to place Santa. I sat in my chair, line on here, line on this side, line on that side, but straight ahead was lingerie. Was not a good location. So hopefully that stores don't do that anymore, man. That was rough, but yeah, that's it's crazy how many cameras because they only had one take in that movie. But I
Yeah.
still got to watch it every year. That is just a classic with Natalie Wood. And I'm sorry, that's
Randy, at the mall where I'm at, when I interviewed for the job, they told me there was a few stores in that mall that I could not go in as Santa, and they really didn't want me to go in there during the year because I still look like Santa even in February, March, April, May. Which they set me right outside the front door of Spencer's Gifts, and that was one of the stores. They have content in there that's not appropriate. Of course, most people use good judgment, and I constantly seen either dad or mom or older brothers and sisters outside with the little one while mom and dad or whoever goes inside.
yeah.
Hot Topics is another one because it has the same style of content. And then, of course, the lingerie company can't go in there either. And those ladies, every time I walk by there, dressed as Santa Claus, going to myself, they'll holler, Santa, come on in. I keep telling you, I can't come in there.
Yeah,
Victoria,
we just can't cross that line. And even the old fashioned Spencer Gifts, there was some crazy stuff. I don't think it would have been good for Santa to walk into Spencer's Gifts. I'm sure there's a few of those still around, but with what they carry, it's not really.
Victoria has a secret, and I don't want to know what it is.
Yeah, it's the best. Let them keep the secret. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Now,
That
my
is,
favorite thing about Spencer's is from my chair, I can actually look to the right and look at the top shelf that's just inside the door, and they got Chucky and Chucky's Bride up there.
oh,
And I love to use that with the children to tell them that Santa can't go in that store. And they'll say, why? And I'll say, step right here and look right up there. And they'll look up there and I'll say, Chucky, he scares me.
he scares me anyway. He does. That's a creepy little puppet. I don't care.
Him and that darn leprechaun that drives the little car looking for the pot of gold with the nasty teeth. I don't like that guy either. He scares me too. All right, let's go ahead and get into our Talbot Insurance Services video promo. Any performance insurance, home, auto, business, it doesn't matter. Larry Talbot can bundle. Check him out. Give him a call. His number is out there for everyone, and it's his personal cell phone. He will answer it. I've never not called him that he didn't answer it. Maybe he knows it's me. I don't know, but he's really good about answering the telephone and can even give you a quote. What can it hurt? You might be surprised. He may save you some money or give you a better policy for same amount of money that you are already paying. So check out Larry Talbot, Talbot Insurance Services, and he is in Georgia, but he works all across the country. I think there's 1 or 2 states that he may be excluded in, but the majority of them are there. So if you need insurance, reach out to Larry.
That was one of the questions that came up in our Q&A question yesterday about insurance. And I said, we brought up Larry to get a hold of him because he will walk you through it. Besides, we talked about the other places that do it, but they're more if you work for them than Larry getting your own independent, especially if you are independent. So, and the importance of having it. And how many places don't, they want you to have it, want you to show them. So it's necessity. Talk to Larry. Don't put it off. For a few $100, like Bob, you've said so many times, it's one performance, maybe 2. It pays for it, and the stuff that it'll cover in case something happens is priceless.
All right, moving along to our ECN news. It's the Chatterbox, North Pole Cornerstones. Second annual sessions, January 31st through February 2nd, 2025 in San Antonio, Texas. Marriott Northwest. Save that date. If you have not been over to our website lately, go over to npcornerstones.com/registration and register and look around because Deanna Golden has done a fabulous job at updating and keeping all the fresh new information as we get it put into the website. And we have got some really cool stuff that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks as far as presenters, topics, the curriculum. It's coming along really well. We're so excited and so blessed to be able to work with such fine people and put together this school for everyone to enjoy. Santa Nana's Holiday University, speaking of Deanna and Judith Broderick, who is also part of North Pole Cornerstones. Santa Nana's Holiday University has announced that they'll be in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, Arizona, September 26th through the 29th, 2024. Of course, we like to say that, we just got through with School of Santas in Branson, but hey, you got to start thinking about 2025. Keynote instructor will be Lee Andrews this year. And I didn't update how many days. We can take 7 away from that, do the math, but hey, I'm too tired to do it. So, Branson 2025. Over to you, Randy.
Can you believe Lee Anderson's this year after if you're just getting this year of Jeff? I mean, wow. 2 blockbuster years in a row at School of Santa. Ah, look at that picture. Fantastic. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's just those guys are so talented. They just work, and I'm surprised Lee can even do it. That's just, a couple days there is that's amazing. Wow. I know Ben had him, for one day down there. It was hard. He had to leave basically right away. Jeff at least hung around a little bit, but Lee was so busy that I can fill in for one day, but that's it. But man, Spangle got him for a couple days. You won't be disappointed.
Well, Spangle had to wait in line for over a year for Lee to be able to break those dates up for the upcoming year, 2025. So it was something that was worth doing, and Spangle wanted him, and him and Lee being good friends as they are, Lee was able to make accommodations.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, of course, let's talk about Tuesday Night Live, guys. Yep. Oh, I didn't. I got one of the patches that Spangle do. I have to get it sewed on my coat.
You got one of the small ones, didn't you?
I got one of the small ones. I didn't get the big one. Yeah, I didn't get the big. I got it's about this big. It's a good size. It's a good size patch. So I'll get that put on my coat. So Tuesday Night Live, let's talk about Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, August 6th, Bill Dendy, Santa's Tailor. Again, custom-made suits, besides some really unique other ones he has basically always available. But he'll be here talking tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Live about what's coming up for this season, what he can do for you and everything. But just quality all the way what Bill does. So, and he'll be at CW Howard too, I hear. So
yeah,
he'll be up there.
We're going to talk about the expo, the vendors expo that he is putting together for the Midland CW Howard Week across the street at the Holiday. Yeah, and that will be one of the topics that we talk about tomorrow. And I don't want to,
which is so cool, and so many people I don't think really know this, that they're actually across the street where all the vendors are and everything else. So if you want to go up to Midland, you're not going to CW Howard for whatever reason, you can't be there all week and just want to go there you can go see the vendors. You can spend a day just at that to see what's going on. And there's a bunch of stuff, great vendors for things like that. So but tomorrow night is Bill here on Tuesday Night Live. Then on the 13th is Staycation Live from Florida. Spangle, Bob, and Scott, and of course the bosses, the ladies, are going to be with them. Of course, Bob's 50th anniversary. Congratulations! I think that's just so cool. That's impressive. Like it doesn't happen that often. And 2 weeks ago in church, they have the big sign up, and there was a couple. I always sit behind for some reason. I see them, I sit behind. I kind of know where to sit because they're there. And they were 62 years. I'm thinking, man, not many people make that long. And even 50 is a long time. Congratulations. That's great. But that'll be a special one from the beach. and Bob and Spangle and all them. Hopefully, they promise not to wear a Speedo. So I'm not guaranteeing anything, but they kind of promised. Maybe Scott's lying, but I hope you won't know the difference. So we won't see. Then, of course, the August 20th is Pamela Swank Yates, Swanky Santa, another phenomenal seamstress and suit maker for Santa's. And of course, Mrs. Claus's apparel. Just high quality, homemade to order suits that Pamela, Bob met her at North Pole. Is that where you met her at, or where did you meet her? Okay. And
Yeah,
Bob,
Scott Saraton had made communications with her, and she had been going to the Forbes convention each year, which is ironically the same time period as North Pole was back in February. She decided to come over with us, and fantastic. We've really become good friends with her. She's such a sweet lady, hard worker, so knowledgeable when it comes to materials and techniques, and has one of the most beautiful Santa bags I have ever seen. She does a phenomenal job with those. Anyway, yes, North Pole in February was where I first met her.
thank goodness we have so many tailors now that understand clothing and what Santas and Mrs. Clauses go through for 6-8 hours. What's the best kind of material? How to put vents in? How to leave it a little larger so you can thermoparail underneath? I mean, it's great that they all work together. But I know Pamela will be great for that to do. Then this one really gets me, the next one, September 3rd. It really gets me to say this, but it's fantastic to think about this. Celebrating the 150th Tuesday Night Live on September 3rd, guys. 150 shows. I mean, talk about a commitment that Bob and everybody put together, Scott from the beginning, Angela, Carol, they all, for 150 shows. Man, just think how many television shows don't even come close to that. And this has been doing it for that. And you're not even getting commercials. It's all boom free for you guys. Oh, it was fun this weekend playing with that free bit. It was always fun.
Oh, here it is.
So that's going to be September 3rd, the 150th show. Then September 10th, again, phenomenal guest coming up. One that doesn't do a whole lot of, but Phil Wentz from Santa Village, from East Dundee, Illinois. Again, talking about knowledgeable about history of Santa and everything. It will be a very informative show and just very cool. Very not. I'm sure he'll tell everything he's done throughout the years, but just the knowledge of everything beyond that, before that, is so fun to listen to, because it's like everything. We really should know our roots as much as we as we can. We all know about St. Nicholas and all those things, but Philip will tell you even some more cool stuff. Then on September 24th is Larry and Sherry Davis performing Santa and Mrs. Clauses. It's just so cool. Alumni from North Pole Cornerstones and School of Santas, so they've been through that vigorous training, and besides out there performing the old say the School of Hard Knocks out there. But it's always so good to hear. That's what we heard a lot this weekend, was how beneficial it is for Santa and Mrs. Claus to work together. How much a benefit it is to have a Mrs. Claus with you. I mean, big box stores and malls, we don't necessarily need works that way, but you do corporate, you do home, you do so many other things. You do parades, you do tree lighting, and that extra person is just phenomenal, and they'll talk about that coming up on September 24th. It's crazy to say September 24th. And then we've got some things in between, but
Yep.
The other thing is, then think about October already is going to be the Halloween special. It's always so much fun. October. So start thinking of your Halloween costume now. It's going to take a little while, and you can't be Santa. You can't be, well, maybe Santa can be Mrs. Claus or Mrs. Maybe, I don't know if that's allowed, Bob, or not. I'm just going to have to get rid of this, I guess. But the Halloween special on October 22nd. And then, oops, I forgot. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my fault. October 22nd is the round table. The round table. get those last minute questions answered and asked, and just that last minute bit of rah that we all need because we've got that season coming up a week or so later. The 29th is the Halloween special. I apologize, but get that costume together. We had so much fun last year. It was cool, man. I was like standing stoner back in the 60s. It was sorry. In fact, I
It
think
was
I still got my
hilarious.
stoner shirt on. I think, yeah, I did. I haven't changed that. Then, of course, November 5th, that will be the last TNL of this year. So, wow, to even say those things, there's only 12 more Mondays. Bob Randall Company's till the end of the year as it is. There's only 12 more Monday shows before the season, not to the end of the done, but we're till the
Yeah,
season. So
exactly.
sorry,
Okay,
Bob, I
so
rattled on,
no, you did good, Randy. I do want to go back and say thanks to Bill Dendy for allowing us to move him up 1 week. We had, of course, a different guest scheduled. Jim had to reschedule. He's going to reschedule with us for later on. And then that worked out fine because then it opened up the 13th for us to do the staycation, which I think is going to be a fun show.
Oh, yeah.
Larry and Sherry Davis, I started on them last year at School of Santas. You guys should come on. They're fairly new into the industry, and he kept telling me, I don't think I've got enough experience to share. And I said, but you have a story, you have a destination, you have a journey. Well, they finally agreed, and we are so excited to have them on the 24th, as you mentioned. Now, real quick, Patrick Moss says, yes, she does have fabulous Santa toy bags. Patrick won the raffle big prize from the vendors back in February at San Antonio NP Cornerstones. And couldn't have went to a better person. He had looked at the bags and he really wanted one really bad. And she just happened to pull his name out of the tickets, and I'm sure he's used it well. And I was so envious because it is a beautiful bag, such a nice bag. Dana Prostrello says, and we have seen most of them live, talking about the 150 shows. Yes, they have. They have been dedicated. They used to say that Tuesday night was their date night, and Everett and her together. That's what they done. And it was pretty cool stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get on down here and get into our trivia answer. We do have one to run.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go. Go
Again,
ahead,
the
Randy.
question was on A Miracle on 34th Street, the movie shot in location in New York during the 1946 Macy's Day Parade. Well, as it was happening, how many cameras did it take to get the necessary parade footage? Just how many cameras? And the winner is
Michael Howe.
Woo!
Fantastic, Mike. All right, so the cool part is you get a gift from Wade, santascloset.org, and your name goes into the hat for the drawing for the MPC Cornerstones 2025. So good job, Michael. Hey, how about them Kringle brothers? Aren't they a lot of fun on Wednesday nights?
And I tell you, they're just full of information.
They are such a great
Everybody
show.
said, we've got a half a sheet. We've just all this in stuff we just jot down, and they just rattle it off the top of their head stuff. And yeah, it's fun. It was fun. Good show last Wednesday, guys. Good show.
All right, let's do some tips.
It's tips that time. Oh my goodness, it's that time.
I'll throw you $1, Randy.
Woohoo! Hello, everybody, and thank you for letting me do Santa's tips again today. Now, be honest with you, I had something set up for today, and I totally changed my mind first thing this morning after I thought about one of the classes over the weekend. And I'm just gonna probably some of the people here were at it, of course. And what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna post this on the site. Everybody can have it, but it was set up by Ted Flynn. In fact, this started Saturday morning. And it's just some basic, wonderful thoughts about 10 things that Santa wants parents to know. Because we talk every week about, not dropping your children off and just letting run and things like that. But there was a way that we could make a list. I just highlighted because that's all I'm going to read. Otherwise, we'll be here for too long. A list of things that if we could get this somehow to the parents when we're doing a home visit, things like that, that we would wish we could do. So I'm just going to read the first sentence on a couple of these things so you get a little idea what it's all about. But it was great discussion between reading all the things, and the talk after was just phenomenal, because there are some things, of course, we've talked about, but they're very, very, very important. The first one is, even though it's been a tradition for years, please do not tell the children that Santa is not going to bring them any toys if they're not good. This is not the image that we are trying to portray. We want the children to experience the good and to be happy. And that's what we've talked about so many times, but we wish parents would know that also clearer, because we always sometimes use as the authority figure or the threatener that Santa's not going to bring you something. Number 2, know what your children are asking for from Santa. If there was some way that you could, which I think I sent out there, if you're doing a home visit, find out what the children want. So then you'll also know what the children want, and you'll also get an idea about if they can afford an iPad or if they can just afford a coloring book at the house you're going to. So find out those things. Number 3, when your child comes to visit Santa, they are not going to be on the naughty list. The naughty list is kind of gone to the side. Staying with the spirit that we want all the children to enjoy their visit. Instead of telling them on the naughty list and they've been bad, talk about what they could make a little bit better, but talk about other things, the positives, because so many children don't get that. We wish the parents would understand that would be a better thing for the children. Number 4, Santa absolutely loves seeing babies and holding babies. Oh, we do. We just love those cute little things. And in fact, last year, of course, I didn't have to worry about this, but last year I had a 2-day-old baby. I was at a big box store, and yes, 2 days old. Little young to be out, but that's okay. But the thing is parents should make sure that they don't want them wet or have that extra little package in the diaper. And parents got to think about this. Santa doesn't want to hold a baby like that. So it's not something else that Santa wish parents would know. Number 5, please don't be the kind of parent that expects your family of 6 to be looking around and get a no blinking, no smiling. It's like most families. I wish parents would understand that when you have 6 children, they're not all going to be, they don't smile on command. And I wish most parents would understand that they don't. And they have one's looking that way, one's looking that way, one's looking that way, one's picking. So they want that picture, but especially if you're doing a big box store or a mall, you don't have the time to take that many retakes. If you're going to a photographer, you've got hours you're paying for. Number 7, we love it when you bring your elf on a shelf. Of course, Santa loves it, bringing elf on the shelf to make him come to life. But there's other things that go along with that would make it easier for Santa. Please don't tell your children to pull Santa's beard. Or, you get the dad back there, pull his beard. Don't want, if we could get the Santa's parents not to do that. Big thing here is also then plan early. This is number 9, plan early to get your pictures. Don't wait till December when the lines are long or the photographers are so busy, or you can't get your pictures done in time to send them out to family and friends. So another thing that would be great for parents to know. Number 10, we want your child to feel like they are the most important person for those few moments. And that's what I know we say so many times, that we would like the parents to know that that's what we want. And Mrs. Claus's and Elves want, that we want their child to feel so important and so special during that time. So, but it's a wonderful list that Ted Flynn put together. And it was, like I said, far more than I rattled off. But it just makes you think. And I wish there was a way we could explain some of those things to the parents. So I'll post that if you'd like. Also, I got to do a quick one. Of course, this is like a 2-second one. I saw this at the dollar store the other day. Yes, the dollar store already has Christmas things out. They have, these, I bought a whole bunch of them. These are wonderful giveaways for home visits. These are just little pieces of wood. And then I bought these years ago from Oriental Traders. You buy packs of crayons. I think they come about 18 cents a pack or something like that. So what a great gift, and what a great time thing for Mrs. Claus or an elf or Santa to do at a home visit. Get these, they're less expensive almost than giving a fancy coin or whatever, and they take time to do something. You don't have to worry about cooking, or if you're doing a craft, they're easy to carry. So I just found them the other day. So do that again. Thank you very much. As always, I ramble on, but I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much again, everybody that joined us at the Red Suit Conclave. You were amazing. The knowledge, the care, and everything was just overwhelming. Thank you, Ted. I hope you're not mad at me for losing it. I just want to make sure that you get the credit for it, because you did all the work.
What a great message. Well, I love that so much. That is a problem that many of us deal with parents. And if they just understood a little bit more about our side of the business, they would be more thoughtful and not be as. And again, I think the one that really stands out the most for me is trying to take 20 or 25 or 30 different shots because you can't get 6 or 8 or 10 people to do what they want. We have this one lady that comes to the mall every year, and we go through that with her every year. And she is adamant about getting that perfect shot. And
it's probably late December too, so there's a long line besides. Yeah,
yep.
I wish they
we have to just tell her no. You're going to have to pick from what we have, and she's not always happy when she leaves, but she comes back every year, and we go through the same process. It's like Groundhog Day. All right, great job, Randy. Fantastic. All right, so let's move along. And I've got a new segment today. We have retired the book review for the season. We may bring that back next year, but we want to get into something that's going to also help us as Santa's Mrs. Claus's, and that is knowing about vintage toys. Santa's Vintage Toy Vault starts today. This is segment 1. Let's take a stroll down memory lane and take a look at 4 vintage toys this week from the 1950s. Now, we're going to do this over the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Those are the years that most of us grew up in, being baby boomers. And kind of goes hand in hand with what Randy did on the first question today. Bring back some memories and trigger some things from your childhood and get you in the spirit for the upcoming season. And we'll do this for a short period of time, and we'll probably be bringing back Annabelle, and the new toy reviews closer towards the end of the season. But let's go ahead and roll this, and we'll talk more on the other side.
Wow. That's
Cool. Did you see the price of that Barbie doll?
oh my gosh, he has $10,000 now.
Yeah.
I watched that. That gives me the shock feeling. Then I saw the second one with the Howdy Doody, and it's like Clarabelle. I love the clown
Clarabelle.
Clarabelle. Good old Clarabelle. And then the bicycle you showed, that was my brother's bicycle. That
Yeah.
was my brother's bicycle. I was lucky enough because a little younger. I had the Stingray. He had that. That was his bicycle. Wow,
And
that
that's
was
a
like that's
J.C.
cool to
Hickman
see.
bicycle. And in 1955, it went for 62.95. So pretty cool stuff. And then the phonograph, the record player, which I think many of us was just really learning, beginning to learn in the mid 50s, late 50s about, vinyl and records and AM radio. And oh God, it just triggers so much.
I wish I still
Uh,
had my 45s. I really do. I wish I still had my 45s when I was a kid. Or
I've
the
got a
remember
good
I even had
collection.
78s. 78s.
Yep. I got a good collection of all from my grandmother, my mother, to some that I had when I was growing up, and a whole box of course, vinyl that I had in my teens, 20s, and 30s until we started, going different directions of vinyl kind of went by the wayside. But that, I had so much fun putting that together, and I just got to say that, here on the TNL network, we always like to give credit where credit is due. Credit for that idea goes to Santa Doug Vanderwide, Cedar Lake, Indiana. He had sent me that particular idea back, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. I can't even tell you how long ago it's been. Been trying to dream of how I was going to use it, how I was going to put it into a fun little presentation. And so, thank you, Santa Doug. Appreciate that very much, and we'll
That's
continue to do that for the next, I don't know, handful of weeks or more. And I'm going to try to debut at least 4 each week of the popular toys. Next week we'll get into the '60s. Week after that, what is it, '70s, and we'll drop back to the '50s again, and that'll kind of give us all a great representation as baby boomers as to what the toys were, and it'll
don't
be
miss
fun.
the Captain Action figures and GI Joes in the 60s. Oh man.
Yeah, they're all in there, and I'm amazed at in the '50s, '60s, '70s, and this thing goes back to the early 1900s where this information came from. Dolls, handmade dolls, so many varieties of dolls that are in these in the
Does anybody even know what a Raggedy Ann or Andy doll is anymore?
uh, you know, they're probably in there, but I don't know if you can find those anymore,
I
can
don't
you?
think you can find Raggedy Ann. Maybe they sell them at you can make them out of your own. Like if you're a seamstress, you can
Yeah,
maybe they have a pattern for them, but I don't think they even make. I mean, just think how popular Raggedy Ann dolls were. Then Andy comes out how many years later? That's just kind of gone.
pretty cool. I mean, like I said, this can trigger so many memories and thoughts,
Yeah.
and starts making you go back to your childhood, which is a good thing at this point in our lives. So, all right, Randy, great segment on tips. Thank you again for that. We had fun with the Santa's Vintage Toy Vault. And again, thank you to Senator
Very
Doug
cool.
for the idea on that one. We don't want to forget to tune in on TNL Network Productions' complete new lineup of shows, 4 nights. That's right, 4 nights. TNL Facebook groups. We have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday shows. Of course, the Monday show, the Tuesday show.
Monday,
we,
Tuesday.
we need to get Michael and Herbie one made up, and of course Mel and Sean and Wingnut, Eric and Minton, all on the TNL network. And so, what are we going to do? We're going to have fun this weekend. We're going to try to bring you some fun from the beach. Hopefully, things will work out. But we're going to go down there and enjoy ourselves. And looking forward to checking in on you and Mike next week, see how things are going. So.
We'll be here next Monday. Thank you, Bob. I hope you guys have a very safe and happy, of course, safe travels and a wonderful,
Thank
wonderful, happy anniversary. That is
Thank you.
just spectacular. Congratulations, Carol. Blessed, prayers to both of you and the family. That's just phenomenal.
It's
I love that.
it's a blessing. I've said it before, but I don't think either one of us thought we would both still be on Earth at this point in our life. You never know. Again, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So uh, we're blessed to be here and blessed to be able to celebrate this milestone. Gonna be fun. Gonna be a hoot. I'm looking forward to it. What can I say? All right. Thanks everyone for coming today and sharing all of the great points that you put into the chat in the first two segments. Take away from what Randy said about schooling the parents. If you get a chance to school a parent, school them. Tell them like it is from a Santa Mrs. Claus perspective. And we
I
hope
wish
that
we
you.
could figure it out somehow. We could educate them, but I don't know how we can do it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I love it. All right. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks, guys.
We will see you next time. God bless all. And hey, check us out on Tuesday because I think this is going to be fun. And back on Monday too with Mike and Randall. Later. Toodaloo. Adios.